Hello everyone, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a bracelet using beads from the Bargain Bead Box June 2021 edition. It was called Navigator, and it's kind of a nautical theme. If you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, I have a whole playlist of unboxings on my channel that you can watch. It is a subscription beading service. It's $17.98 a month delivered to your door. So if you want to watch those unboxings and see if it's something you're interested in, I will link it in the description box below. Also, when you subscribe to them, you get a $2 off coupon to use in their sister store, Beadbox Bargains. I'm sorry, a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Beadbox Bargains. And you can use that coupon all month long over and over. So it's really a great deal. I've actually done several hauls lately. I need to stop my shopping spree from Beadbox Bargains, and you can see those as well. I have a playlist for those. Okay, so if you're interested in subscribing, I have a coupon code. It is Wendy2. That would get you $2 off your first box. If you don't want to subscribe, but you would like to shop in their store, you can use the same coupon code to get $2 off of your purchase in their store. Okay, so what we're going to make today is a bracelet. We are making this bracelet to coordinate with this pair of earrings right here. So here's the earring and this necklace that we've already made. Whoops, wrong necklace. Let me find it. It's hanging right here. I just grabbed the wrong one. So this necklace that we've made using products from the box. All right, so we've already made this necklace. There's a tutorial for that. It's this right here. And we've already made the earring. There's a tutorial for that. So we're going to do a bracelet today. So if you're interested in doing this bracelet, here is what you're going to need. You're going to need 3 lengths of tiger tail. I've got these cut like, I don't know, 10 inches or so. I didn't measure them. I just cut them. I always leave myself a little bit of extra room just in case, because I'm really bad to not have enough of what I'm doing. So, and I know somebody mentioned leaving it on the spool. I can't work like that. I'm sorry. I've tried. I can't do it. It's got to come off the spool. It gets in my way. Yeah, so tiger tail off the spool. Don't know how long it is. It's about 10 inches. You're only going to need enough to go around your wrist. So if you want, precise measurements, measure your wrist. Okay, we're going to need these opaque rondelles from the box this month. We're going to be using these ceramic beads, these opaque smaller rondelles, the indigo. We're going to be using these English cut crystals, the spacer beads from the box. I'm just trying to get all my little beads together in piles. We're going to be using these cathedral beads from the box. We're going to be using one of these chandelier components. We will need some eye pins. We're going to be using one of the little charms. You're going to need, I'm using a lobster clasp. You can use any clasp you want. You don't have to use a lobster. You're going to need some jump rings, and you're going to need several clamshell covers and crimp beads, okay, for our tiger tail. If you want wire guardians, you can use wire guardians as well. You don't have to. If you, I don't know, maybe we should use wire guardians instead of the clamshell tips. Do I want to do that? Yeah, because then I wouldn't have to connect it with a jump ring. So scratch the clamshell covers, grab yourself some crimp tubes and some wire guardians, and we will do it that way. I just had a rethink. Okay, and your jewelry tools, and I think that's everything. So let me grab some wire guardians. I will be right back. Okay, so got some wire guardians, and one more thing you're going to need is a ring for your pieces of your tiger tail to hook onto, because your lobster is going to hook onto this guy right here. So I did the same basic design in a bracelet the other day, the one with the Z beads. It's a white one. But I wanted to do it again with these beads. I think it's going to turn out looking different, but it is using the same basic design and component, this component. Okay, so if you want to make this bracelet, grab your stuff, and we will go ahead and get started. Oh, another thing I do have are some bead bugs. Those aren't mandatory at all, but they definitely do help with not losing your beads off of your wire if you're bad to do that, like I am, which I'm really bad to do that. All right, so let me scoot these beads out of the way here. We're making a 3-strand bracelet, and I love these colors, these reds and blues together are so pretty. I'm going to grab a couple more bead bugs. The bead bugs you can get like at Michael's or Joann's. Most of the big box craft stores have them. They're very convenient for keeping your beads from falling off your wire. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. And you may need a ruler too. I'm going to be using my ruler. So I have a 6.5 inch wrist. So I'm going to make my bracelet. I have a 6 1/4 inch wrist. I'm going to make my bracelet right about 7 inches, just because I tend to make them too short most of the time. So I'm going to go for longer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bead bug. I'm going to put it on this end of my tiger tail. And this is 49 Strand Tiger Tail by Bead. And I'm going to go ahead and figure out how I want to string my beads on, okay? So I know I want my big beads right here to be in the middle strand. That's where I want them to go. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. We just really need our beads right now. Okay, so I'm going to lay them there. This is how I design it. I just kind of lay it out and see if it turns out like I want it to look. If not, I'll switch things up. Okay, so for my center strand, or my top strand there, let me cut these off their little thingy. So the middle strand is going to be mainly the big beads there. The other two strands, I'm going to do a mix of the other beads on both sides. So I think here in the middle, I might make this strand kind of the focal here. So I might do these little cathedral beads in between these big blue beads. And then on my edge strands, I might just do the red, these three right here on both edge strands, just maybe in a different pattern. So let's look here and just see. You know, I could maybe do all the reds here. And let me get a bead bug for this one. And then the bigger blue crystals down here, like this, and then mix these little blues in both strands. That would look pretty cool, I think. And then I'm probably going to throw these silver spacers in just randomly in all three strands. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and, let me just scoot these out of the way. Let's go ahead and string our bottom strand here. So what I want to do is I usually like to start with a couple of the smaller beads. So I'm going to do 2 of the little blue rondelles. Put my glasses on. A hex blue bead and a silver bead, a spacer, and then another hex, or I call these hex, they're English cut. Yeah, English cut bead. Then I'm going to do 2 more of these guys. And I'm just going to repeat that pattern. The blue bead, whoops, the crystal, the spacer bead, the crystal, and 2 of my little blue rondelles. I'm just going to repeat this over and over until I get my length that I want on my bracelet. If I have enough of these crystal beads, I hope I do. There's 3 more. I used the heck out of this box this month. I found that I really used the beads up probably more than I have in any other box for quite a while. Okay, we'll go ahead with this guy. Spacer. 1 more of him. I tend to like, when I do these kind of bracelets that have like a 3 strand, I tend to like to keep the outer strands smaller beads, like, I don't know, 8mm and under, and the center strand the bigger beads. I don't know why that I do that. I just tend to always make that pattern. I like it better that way for some reason. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another set of these. And you have to account for your clasp in your measuring of how long you want your bead strands to be. So we've got actually probably 2 inches. I will pull it up here in just a second. Let me go ahead and get this last little crystal on here and these 2 guys, and then I'll measure this too. I do a lot of measuring when I make bracelets because I always end up making them wrong. You know, they never fit me right. Okay, so let's see what we've got right here. So right here, we've got right about 5 inches of beads. Maybe just slightly less. Okay, but if we look here, if we take our component that we're going to be hooking our lobster claw onto, so right about like this, and we measure this, this is right about a little more than 1.5 inches, 1.3 inches. It's about 1.3 inches. So close to 2 inches. So by the time you put your little, did I measure from the end of that? I don't know if I did. No, I didn't measure from the end of this ring. So it is right about 2 inches. So 5 inches of beads plus my 2 inches here is going to be right about 7 inches. So I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go any further with this one. Let's see how many. I've got just right shy of 5 inches. So I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to throw a bead bug on this end just so it doesn't, I don't knock them off somehow. And then let's do our other outer strand. Okay, so that would be this. So for this one, I don't want to repeat the same exact pattern as I have on the other side. So I think I will do small bead and a rondelle. Do I want to pull in some other beads? Do I need to pull in some other beads? I have a few of these left. Well, let's see. I don't want to do, oh, I forgot, well, I'm using those for that. Let me grab some more silver beads. I'm thinking, I don't know. I do really want just the red and the blue from the rondelles on here, but I don't want to do the same pattern that I did right here. If that makes sense. So let's do this. Let's do 3 of these little blue beads. Let's do, will this go up inside that blue bead? Will the blue bead go up inside? No, it won't. Okay, that's good. So let's do this. Let's do the little blue bead, the spacer, another little blue bead. Then we'll do blue, red. Okay, so I've got blue spacer blue, red, blue, red, blue. I'm going to do another red and another blue, just like this. And then I'm going to do another spacer and a blue. So I think I'm just going to repeat that pattern over, because that gets the spacers down in here as well, but it's not the same exact pattern that we have in the top. I don't want to do it the same. So blue spacer blue, red blue, red blue, red blue. Does that make sense? Not really. Red, blue. And you can do this however you want. This is the way that I'm doing it. And I've got my bead bug off there, so it's probably gonna, there we go. Okay, blue spacer blue, red blue, red blue, red blue. There's 3 reds and blue sets in there. And then we do the blue, the spacer, and the blue again. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's going to be good. So just like that. It's just a little bit different pattern than what we have down on the bottom. Okay, so red, blue, or up on the top, however we choose to put this together. Red, blue, red, blue. Okay, spacer, blue bead. And I'm not quite at my 5 inches, I can tell that. So I'm going to do another red, blue, red, blue, red. And I'm probably getting close now. I don't know if I can do another blue spacer blue. Let's look here real quick. I kind of want to make it end right, but might be a little too long. Let's hold them up. I'm just going to compare them side by side, see what we've got. Actually, they are pretty much exact. Wow, okay, that's awesome. That is exactly what we want. All right, so we've got our top strand and our bottom strand. Let's go ahead and work on our middle strand. That did not stay on there, did it? Okay. So for the middle strand, I just want to do, I don't think I'm going to use those guys or any more of those reds. I may pull these blues in just because I've used them in both of the other strands, so, and some of the silvers. We'll see here. Okay, so let's go blue. We'll do red. Big blue guy. And I may not pull those spacers in this one because this does have the silver. These red beads have the silver on them, so I'll probably just leave that out. And blue. Red, big guy, red. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's going to be good. Blue bead, red bead, big porcelain bead, red bead, small blue, red one, porcelain bead, red bead. Did I do that right? I did. I'm like, does that look right? And then blue bead. So let's see how long this is right here. I don't think it's quite 5 inches yet. Nope, we got a couple more to do. Okay, so I've got 2 more red beads. Let's do red bead, blue bead on this end, and red bead. I just am trying to make it even so that its pattern is even, and blue bead on this end, and we'll see if this equals out to right around our 5. It may be longer, I don't know. If you kind of pick it up here and put your bead bug on, it squeezes it right at the right, so you can tell exactly your measurement. Yeah, I'm a little over, so let's just take the blue bead off of each end and see if that works to get it back to where it needs to be on the 5. That looks about right. Okay, so we have our 3 strands now. Let me get the rest of the beads out of the way. We're going to be using them in a minute to make some dangles, but right now, let's get them out of the way. So we have our 3 strands. Here's our top, our middle, and our bottom, unless we want to switch them around and do them a different way, and if you do, you can. Okay, so here's our component that we're going to be hooking one end on, and we're going to be hooking the other end right here on this ring, okay? So this ring is going to hang like this. So we need to cut this off. I don't really want this on here. It's just not going to be of any use, and I don't really want to dangle anything from it. So I'm just going to cut it off with my cutters, take them and kind of smooth this out. You can file it if you feel like you need to, but yeah, I can get it pretty smooth just with my cutters. Okay, so we're going to lay this ring this way, and we're going to have our lobster clasp this way. So here's going to be our bracelet. Actually, I'm going to reverse that because I'm right-handed and I don't know why, but it makes it easier. Okay, actually we'll put that up there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to hook them, all of our strands, onto this ring and onto this jump ring, this big ring right here. Okay, so just, I'm going to make sure that I have enough room on this end to do it with, so scoot it up if you need to. And then we're just going to take our wire guardians and our crimps. I am going to be using my crimping pliers for this. These are number 2 crimp tubes, I believe, Beadalon number 2s. So we're going to put the crimp bead on. We are going to put our wire guardian on. We are going to go down the second channel with our tiger tail. Okay, so here's what we've got. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hook this on this ring because I don't want to have to use jump rings. I just want to be able to hook it right on and not worry about the jump rings. Okay, I'm going to take my wire back down through my crimp tube and through a few of the beads. Okay, just 2 or 3. I usually just stick it through, and wherever it comes out, I just pull it. Okay. we're going to pull this tight. Now, I like to take my pliers and bend my wire guardian together here in the middle. I don't know why, I think it looks better. Just like that. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but I just like to do it. Okay, so now we're going to do our crimping. So what we need to look at is our wires, okay? They need to be sitting side by side in this crimp tube. Mine are crossed right now, so I need to make sure when I crimp this that they're sitting side by side. If they're not, it's not going to crimp correctly because it's made to put each little wire in its own channel, okay? So you kind of have to be really careful of that, and it's easy on this end because we've got some slack to play with. It's going to be a little harder on the other end. So get your pliers, make sure that your wire is where it needs to be, and mine is, I believe. Okay, and just crimp it down. And when you look, it puts each wire in its own little channel there, and that's what you want. And then you're going to take this, you're going to rotate your little bead 90 degrees, and you're going to put it in one of these front things and just close it up, and there it is. It makes a perfect little closed up crimp, okay? So now we're going to do the other end, and the other end's going to be a little bit harder. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, this piece of wire that's poking out. And the only reason this is going to be harder is because we're just not going to have the slack to play with in order to be able to make sure that our wires aren't crossed. So we have to just do the best we can. So we're going to put the crimp on, and this is an open jump ring. So I'm going to open this and put all these on at the end. If you didn't have an open jump ring, you'd have to go ahead and put your loop on whatever ring you're using now, just like we did on the other end. Okay? Go ahead and put your wire guardian on. Go up and around and down in the other side. And go right down in the crimp. Okay, and just go through. Well, it didn't want to go through any beads, did it? There we go. Go through a couple beads. And just pull it right out here now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this and pull tight. And here's what I've got. I've got my little crimp, or my little wire guardian, my wires, and I'm just going to try to look. And it looks like right now that they're sitting side by side. So I'm just going to pull it tight and go ahead and crimp it. It looks like they are side by side. I hope they are. I think they are. Okay, we'll crimp down. All right, and then we're going to turn the 90 degrees and go ahead and close it up in here with our other divot. Okay, and that looks like it did good. So pull on it, make sure it's secure. There we have it. Okay, so we've got our first little strand on our piece. I'm going to turn this back this way because I'm right-handed and it just makes it easier for me. Okay, so now we're going to do the middle strand. Same thing. Let's make sure we got enough room to do both ends. All right, same thing with this one. I want to make sure when I put this on that it lays next to this one on here and doesn't cross over, okay? That's important, unless you want them to cross, and if you want them to cross, then by all means, it is possible to do that. You could even braid them if you wanted to. And we're going to go down the other side of our wire guardian. And we're just going to slide this right onto the ring. Okay, then I'm going to take my wire and go down through my crimp, down through a couple beads, or one bead. One bead seems to be where it's wanting to come out. All right, now I'm going to take a look at my wires. It looks like they're sitting side by side. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this tight, and crimp it. Okay. Now what is happening? Did I not get it crimped? There we go. I don't know why it didn't make the little divot in the middle. There we go. All right. Pull it, make sure it's secure, and you can cut your excess wire. Okay, same thing on this end. Now, what I do want to do as I'm doing this is kind of compare and make sure that everything looks like it's sitting fairly even. This one actually has a little bit, it's a little bit longer, but I feel like if I take this red bead off, it's going to look kind of funny. Well, actually, it's okay, I think. I think I am going to take that red bead off because I don't want it to sit too much different. I mean, I want it to be very even. I don't know. Let me look here. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to leave the red bead on. I don't want it to look too different, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, to be honest. And when it's on your wrist, it's going to kind of flop around a little anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the red bead on. I think I would rather have the pattern complete than, I don't know, that's just my OCD probably, but that's how I want it. So, oh, okay. So this is a little bit harder because I didn't leave myself quite enough wire, I don't think, on this end, like I said to, but I didn't. So let me see if I can pull this down, get the crimp bead in, get the regular bead through, and have something hanging out the other side to grab onto. Barely. You can use your pliers. I'm going to grab that tiger tail and try to pull it. There we go. I got it. Okay, so just pull it down tight. Make sure it's tight. I want to make sure this one is pretty tight and there's no loose space between the beads because I'm a little bit long on it, so I don't want there to be any extra space in there. Okay, I'm going to crimp that down and close it up. And there we go. And it kind of closed up my wire guardian, which is fine because I was doing it so tightly. All right, so there's our second strand. And I think that's very, very close. I think it's going to be okay. So for strand number 3, let me leave myself a little more room on this other end. Okay, so strand number 3, same thing. Crimp tube on, wire guardian, go up and around, go ahead and insert your ring, and I'm making sure that I put this one on the other side and they're not crossing, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and put my wire down through the crimp bead and a couple of the other beads if I can. I might make sure that I've got enough room down here still. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pull this up. Just want it close to the wire guardian as you can get it. You don't want a whole lot of extra string or tiger tail hanging out there. And I'm going to look at this and see. I think they're crossed. They were. Okay, so just try to keep them side by side if I can. And then I'm going to crimp it down. Okay, and turn it. Gets a little fiddly when you've got all this stuff going on right here, but just try to turn it and crimp it again to the best that you can with all this hanging. And I know I could do these and hook this onto a jump ring with a jump ring, but I just really don't like to do that if I don't have to. I want to keep it, I don't like the look that jump rings give a lot of times. I just like to keep it neater looking. Okay, cut that one off. And we'll go down to our other end. And we're doing the same thing again. So, let me make sure that this end is all the way up there. Okay. So, crimp tube, wire guardian, back through our little wire guardian on the other side. Now this is the side we don't have to worry about putting on anything, but we have to make sure that we get it tight and that our wires aren't crossed if we can. So let's just go down through a couple beads here. There it is. Pull that out. Pull it tight. That looks good. I don't think anything's crossed in there. They look like they're sitting side by side to me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and crimp them. And then turn it 90 degrees and go ahead and close that up. All right, so now we have our 3 strands finished. Okay, just like this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hook them to the ring here of our jump ring, or whatever, of our lobster, or whatever ring you're using. So let me just open this up. Now I want to make sure when I hook this on, I'm actually going to take the lobster off for a minute. I want to make sure that I hook these in the same configuration that I have them on the other end. Okay, just like that. And I'm just going to put my lobster back on and close this up. Okay, and there we have it. So now, let me see if it fits me to start with. It does. Oh yeah, it fits perfect. Huh, it's a miracle. My bracelets never turn out right, so I'm getting better. So, you know, it comes with practice, I guess. All right, so now we're going to put our dangles on this end. So when this lobster clasps on this other end, it's going to clasp right here. And we're going to have this little area where we've got some cute little dangles to make, okay? So let me get these out of the way. Pick up those pieces of wire. And pull out our jump ring, or our jump rings, goodness, our head pins. Okay, so let's see what I've got. I've got my little ship's wheel. I know I want to use that on here for sure, probably right here in the middle. And then I've got some other beads. So it's just kind of up to your own creative control what you want to do. I may do something like this here. I really like these crystals. I think they're so pretty. So maybe that there and the same over here. So maybe a crystal here like this, and then we'll do red, crystal, and blue here. I don't really want to incorporate these bigger beads in here just because these are, I don't know, it's just small and I don't want to put these middle ones in there. I'm just going to do the outer edges. The ones we used on the outer edges. Is that making sense? Okay. All right, so we're just going to make some dangles. So let's do our blue bead, our crystal, our small blue bead. Now you can do wrap loops on this if you want. I don't really want to. I'm just going to do regular loops to hook it on with. But if you wanted to do wrap loops, go for it. And I'm going to just roll this loop right back. And there it is. Okay, so that'll be dangle number 1. Now, of course, our charm, we don't have to hook on with a dangle unless you just want to. I mean, you can put a bead dangle on there if you want, or a connector, whatever, but I'm just going to leave it. I just saw a text message come up from my son. Hey, can you send me like $10? So I will have to do that here quickly. So let me finish this bracelet up, because knowing him, he's probably at the grocery store or at the gas station, and he's like, I need money. So let's get this done so I can check and make sure that he's good. He cracks me up. He's got more money in his savings account than I do, but he doesn't want to spend that. He wants to spend my money. He's smart. Which I told him, I said, as long as you're in college, he is in college for space engineering. And if he graduates, he will have a guaranteed job at NASA when he graduates. So, you know, I'm pretty proud of that. So I told him, I said, you know, as long as you're in college, I'm going to help you financially for sure. And then, of course, after he gets out, I would too. But I want him to at least think he's got to be a grown-up once he graduates. So, all right. So here we go. Let's grab some jump rings. Where are my jump rings? Do I want to hook those on? I don't want to hook those on with jump rings, but I am going to hook this middle one on with a jump ring. So let me do that. So we're going to put this guy right here. Close this up. And then I'm just going to hook these others directly on here. So we'll do this one. Just like this. This bigger one. Oops. Help if I opened it from the right part, wouldn't it? Let's stick this one on here. Then we will put this one on. And last but not least, this guy right here. Now, if you had wanted to leave your loop on, it would have been right here, and you could have dangled something from that. I just didn't really want to do that. I wanted to do it like this. So here's our cute little bracelet. I think these turn out really pretty. Let me see if I can put it on. I tried this on Sunday because Chris gets so frustrated. I'm like, hey, can you help me put this on? And he sits here and tries and tries. He's worse than me. He can't get it on. So I ended up getting it on myself on Sunday, that my other one. So hey, I did it. So here it is. You can wear it either like this, or you can turn it and wear it like this, or just let it flop around however you want. But I love these. I think they turn out super cute, and this chandelier component was perfect for it in this month's box. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to get off here and check on my son and see what in the world he needs. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay guys, so here we have our finished bracelet. And I love it. I love the way it turned out. I think it looks great. Very patriotic, great for the 4th of July coming up. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I've actually done, like I said, the necklace to go with this. So here it is. See if I can do this while holding my camera. The necklace to go with this and the earrings. So a lot of these bargain bead box things I do in sets. So if you want to be notified when I upload, you need to hit that bell button. Otherwise, you won't know when I'm uploading new videos. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll put links to everything in the description box below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!